guys, so it's been quite a while since I've made a video. Life has been moving on and going on, which is amazing. I think a lot of things have happened in the past few months. I've moved to the UK, which is really exciting. A big life change and a big, it's been quite scary, but it's really been one of the best decisions that we've made. It's been really exciting for us to be able to move over here and start our lives here and just kind of get work and actually start building up our lives. So what I wanted to talk about in this video today is basically different tips for a positive mindset to cope with change and a lot of different scenarios or difficult scenarios that you're dealing with, especially having a chronic or some kind of condition that you're dealing with. From South Africa to the UK all by myself. I'm used to traveling, but usually I have my partner with me, which is amazing because it's always better to travel with someone. But this time obviously I had to travel alone because he moved over first because he had a really good job opportunity. So I moved over and took the plane. The first one was about 11 hours and the second one was about an hour. And then obviously staying in the hotel quarantine. There are a few nightmare stories about the quarantine, but luckily mine was really good. I can't complain about it. It was a good time to rest and just kind of reset before obviously getting into the swing of everything. So obviously dealing with all of that and processing all of that and now being here and sorting out our apartment and getting life started, sorting out our medical stuff, and then obviously trying to find a job has been quite a challenging time, obviously mentally and physically in terms of the change, but it's been a really good challenging time and a really good growth opportunity for us, and especially for me. I think I've learned a lot and been challenged a lot. So I just thought that I'd make a video to kind of say how I've dealt with it, and these tips are very much how I've managed to deal with different things. And obviously everyone's will be individual and everyone will have their own coping mechanisms. Conditions like dysautonomia or related conditions, I think there are many days when you actually wake up and you just wish that you had a break, that you wouldn't have any symptoms that day or you wouldn't have any issues that day and it wouldn't affect your general life or day to day. But obviously, unfortunately, sometimes we can't control that and we need to kind of focus on what we can control and make the most of it. It's almost that you wish you could take a holiday from it without having to take your medication and focusing on all of those things just to make it through the day. But those become a part of your life and you actually just make it work for you. So some of the tips that I use may be helpful for you. If they aren't, obviously you don't have to use them, but I always find that it's helpful to get someone else's opinion or someone else's idea or different things that they use. It's always nice to have another opinion. Some days I'm not 100%, or I'm not mentally strong, I'm not positive, and I always try to change my mindset so that I can make the most out of every day. So the first thing that I always try to do is try to think of the things that I really want to do, and if I feel like there's certain things that will hold me back, try to find additional ways to do those things, or just try to find similar things to do. So if there's anything where I say, okay, well, I'd like to try this or I'd like to try that, but my heart might struggle, I might have really bad palpitations, or I might feel really unwell, especially like in the crazy hot weather, I always make sure, okay, I've got ice water with me or something like that, because that obviously makes a difference for a normal person, never mind with having a condition. But I really try to make those small adjustments to make the most of every moment, which is obviously a cliche and a lot of people say it, but it definitely does help. One of the quotes that I saw recently was actually saying to romanticize your life and make the most out of every little thing that you do, whether that's going for coffee, say that this is an amazing coffee and I'm so grateful that I can get it, or just being able to walk down the street and saying, I'm going to enjoy this walk, I'm going to make the most of it, because taking advantage of those small little moments actually adds up and really helps you to focus on making the most out of your day. The third thing is meditation. A lot of these tips I mentioned in the book that I wrote, so they are all there if you want to have a look at it, but obviously these are things that I've used then when I was diagnosed, and obviously from then I've tried to keep up with these habits because they really have made a difference for me. So with the meditation, I try to do it every day and try to have a set time to do it, but obviously that doesn't always happen. So I try to do it especially during stressful times or periods where, for example, now if I'm going for a job interview, I try to listen to a podcast or a guided meditation or just some meditation music before I go in, because obviously I'm going to be stressed, my anxiety is going to be a little bit higher, and that might make me feel a bit worse, even though it's not necessarily my condition that's making me feel worse. And definitely listening to guided meditation or something that just calms you down and kind of mellows you really has helped for me. Social media support is the fifth one, and social media groups. So obviously Facebook groups, I'm sure a lot of you have joined groups like that already, or have friends on a group where you're all in a group that has similar conditions or similar symptoms or diagnosed with similar things. Friends are really important to keep close to you and just have for support, because as much as we like to think that we're very strong and we like to do things on our own, it's always important to have someone there just to chat to and just to express yourself and just always, chat about your feelings, because that really makes a difference. The seventh one is music and meditation. This really helped me, especially in the beginning when I was very sick, and obviously struggling with my heart, hearing my heartbeat, struggling with my nerves, not being able to sleep. I found that listening to music, trying to drown out all of the symptoms that I had, going to sleep really made a big difference, or watching TV, because obviously having that sound in the background really helped. I know that if you Google ideas or ways to sleep better, that's definitely not going to be the top of the list. They actually want you to sleep in a cold environment and a quiet environment, but obviously this is what's worked for me, and it might help other people. Then the second last one is understanding your condition. I've been very lucky that I had a medical background with my degree, so it helped me to understand the condition a lot better, even though there's still limited knowledge on the condition and the management of the condition, obviously improving it and trying to manage the symptoms, and I want to say healing or getting better, but definitely understanding more about it also made me feel a lot calmer and less stressed, because I would understand what's actually going on inside my body and that it's not an emergency situation. And then the last one, which obviously relates a lot to me being in the field, is physical activity. I obviously found physical activity very difficult in the beginning, because I was constantly trying to push myself before I was diagnosed. I just thought if I push through and I keep working hard, eventually my body has to adapt. And even with the knowledge that I had, I continued to do that. And obviously once being diagnosed and once knowing what's going on, that made a big difference in the way that I treated my body, and basically treated my body to move in order to feel better, or move to improve the functioning of my body, instead of just trying to reach certain goals. And goals are very important, but your goals will definitely change, once you have a chronic condition or once you're unwell. So definitely physical activity needs to be included. It will obviously just be really slow in the beginning, and it's very important to have it individualized. So obviously if you kind of understand your body and you know what your body needs, then it's good to continue with those. But if you don't know what to do and you're not sure how you should move your body and what you should do every day, it's good to get a bit of advice from a physical therapist or by a kineticist, or just look at relatable or reputable articles online to see what kind of protocols they've actually used that have been helpful for people with your condition. And even if it's small things every day, just make sure that you are trying to move, so that you don't become stagnant and fall into basically a line of not being active and letting your body get worse.
Inside of something real, somehow I lost you on the way. I assumed you left me behind. Lifeless days and sleepless nights, so tired of it. I can't get you off my mind, can't